All right. Today is Friday, January 11th, 2019. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. So jumping into outstanding 113 tasks, we still need help cleaning up the README for the cluster driver registrar. There was actually a PR out a few days ago to fix the RBAC stuff. So now all what's left is to just clean up the README and kind of maybe document the whole binary better.
Yeah, if no one gets to this, I'll do it after I finish all my existing documentation work.
Sounds good. Next is the secret logging stuff. So I am working with the security team to draft an announcement, and I think we're getting pretty close. We'll probably send it out on Monday. Next is syncing up host path driver YAMLs with the E2e YAMLs.
Is that me, Vladimir?
Yep.
I started looking at some of the feedback I got from Patrick on that stuff right before the break. I should have. I'll be updating the PR today with some of his suggested changes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Vlad. Next is our documentation.
I sent out another push to the PR, but it's still a work in progress. I'm addressing the feedback that's already there, but I still need to finish up like 4 more sections on features.
Okay.
But
cool.
You can keep looking at it.
Great. Yeah, I think looks like a few other people have been jumping in on reviewing too,
Yep.
So that's great. Awesome. And then we have our blog post.
Blog posts are ready to go. I've shared them with Caitlin. I talked to her yesterday. She said she would get the CNCF editor to take a look at it. And so they should be good to go. I never heard back from Ben on the
block.
The block stuff, yeah. So that's unfortunate. If there's somebody else on this call who's interested in writing a blog post about block, let me know. Otherwise, we'll either delay that or not do it.
Yeah, I mean, we can have another blog post sometime later, I guess.
Yeah, I think Caitlin wanted to do a 5 days of Kubernetes 113 thing, so it would make sense to do it as part of that. But yeah, we can always do it later.
Yep. All right. So I think that's all we have left for 113, just mostly documentation stuff, so that's great. Jumping up into miscellaneous topics. Patrick has an item here about handling vendors. So I think I guess Patrick's not here, but I think what this item is about was there's been a few PRs to update the vendors file, and Patrick is wondering if we actually need to explicitly set all these constraints to versions. I guess his argument is that we should just be periodically, constantly updating our dependencies when they push out something new. Does anyone have any objections to removing these constraints to specific versions?
If we remove these constraints, does that mean that it automatically picks up the new versions?
It tries to pick up, I think it tries to pick up the newest that it can.
So that seems like a bad idea. Like whenever you have anything that you're shipping, they should just pick up a fixed version, and we should update the dependencies when there is a change. I don't like the idea of just having moving dependencies because that can break us.
I guess it would only it would only do this whenever we run dep. Right? So if you
Mm.
don't
that is
run,
whenever someone wants to push a new PR, I think it's a pain that if something upstream change, then it doesn't work anymore.
yeah, I think it won't. Will it run in depth for every PR or only when you want to update the
I
dependencies?
think the CI does something. The CI will run those.
Okay. So then if potentially on like every PR, the CI will run depth and try to pick up
Grab
the
new
latest.
dependencies, and that could suddenly have us go red.
Yeah. Okay. Then I guess it makes sense to just keep it here. Like I
Yeah.
assume when this person added these ran depth, they didn't like explicitly add the constraint. It was just automatically added by the depth tool.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a way in the dep tool to say, I want the latest version of this specific branch or something like that. Maybe we can investigate that so that at least we're like, hey, it'll just pick up the latest version of 1.0x or something like that.
Yeah, I think it will.
Versus like just picking up
master
or like 2.0 or something else.
I think there should be a way to do that, to restrict it by branch or something. But,
yeah, dep supports all sorts of crazy magic. I just don't know how.
Okay. Maybe I'll just add a comment here.
I think the version, if you say equal, it actually will go up. So if you want to, there is a way to log it to a specific version if you don't want it to go up. So I think version actually will actually go higher than 1.0.0 if there is something less than like 2.0.
Oh, so you're saying this might already be sufficient?
I think so, because I did run into some problems because I want to log it, but just keeps going higher. And then I found out actually you have to add an equal sign inside the quote or something to log it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The other concern is that if we're always updating, then we might end up breaking, like the dependency might end up breaking something.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll CC you guys if we want to. Is this your right handle, correct handle? Xing? It's not auto-completing.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. All right, cool. Let's see, PRs that need review. This is pruning the vendor directory. All right. I mean, so this seems okay to me. I guess the main thing is, do we want to continue supporting this directory? We're kind
Yeah,
of
the plan
this
is to
repo. We're kind
eventually
of
just
moving
remove
everything
it.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can continue to maintain it,
But then no one is currently signed up to move all the other drivers out of here. So I guess we will be
yeah.
we will be using this for a while until we can find people to get that
Yeah,
out.
that makes sense. It's a low priority thing. We can do it eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe I think Sada looks like you have approval.
Yeah, I'll go take a look at this PR.
Permissions. Yep. Cool. I'll put your name here. All right. Next item. I think this bug will be fixed by Jing's PR. I think it's almost ready to go in. Is that right? Has it been approved? I think it still needs final review from you, Saad. So, yep. All right. And let's see. So Jing brought up 2 problems with reconstruction. It looks like one of them has been fixed. I will sync up with her on if she will have time to look into to fixing the next issue, which is more complicated. So I'll sync up with her on that. Okay, that's all the miscellaneous topics. Let's jump down into 114 stuff. So we have moving our CSI objects to beta. This was blocked on a few things. One, all the alpha features need E2e tests. It looks like the only feature remaining is the topology one, and Cheng should be working on that. Next is the whole deployment issue.
Right. So this one, basically, I went to the Cube ADM office hour to talk to them, but they say that this should be a issue with the API machinery. We should bring it up to the SIG architecture because this is not a Cube ADM only issue. It should be done at a common place. So that's their suggestion. And initially, Deep has a item in SIG architecture meeting to discuss about the webhook thing. So I thought we could just talk about this together. But then that item got removed by Brian Grant. He said he asked Deep to send an email instead. So then basically Deep just sent an email with both issues, the webhook and the CRD install. And we got one response from Brendan Burns. He's talking about self-hosting, not quite sure why it says it's self-hosting. So yeah, we only got that one response. So we don't, basically we don't get any solid guidance from the architecture team. So
maybe since this is kind of like, it's like kind of along, it kind of involves both cluster lifecycle and API machinery. Looks like cluster lifecycle says it's not our problem.
Right.
Maybe we can try talking to Jordan from API machinery to see if he has any suggestions. I know Deep, you've talked to Jordan in the past.
He actually showed me that he said he talked to him maybe a couple months ago. So we could maybe wait until, so Deep said he would join the meeting Monday, that we can talk again. And he was thinking that maybe we can put together some cap, just suggesting we maybe do it in a different we produce a different tool to do this, like a operator type of thing to do this, and then bring it up to the architecture, and then maybe since if we have a cap, maybe they will look into it, or I'm not sure.
Maybe
what is the better?
It still has the. I mean, it's so like having another like operator do this still has the problem that all the deployment mechanisms need to like run the operator.
They still have to take it, they still have to pick it up, whatever we have, and then they also mentioned this that the thing they talked about at KubeCon Seattle, use the add-on operator thing. I think Tim Claire, he mentioned that one. So I said, well, first, that one is not ready yet, and second, that one is more for the like outside auto tree CRD. What we have is more like in-tree CRD, right? It's a little different. It's more tightly related to the core.
Okay. It might still be worth maybe talking with Justin Santa Barbara on that, I guess, to see if he has any ideas on if his mechanism for the add-on operator, if it could be used for like system CRDs.
They can probably do that, but it's just because that is far away, right? It's if we want to rely on that one, then it's going to be out this quarter. It's just as I thought.
Yeah, we need to escalate this as quickly as possible. Timothy St. Clair, who's on this Kubernetes steering committee, said he was interested in talking about this.
Was he? But he was the one who said, "Oh, we don't want to take this in," because he was the one on that Cube 89 meeting. So he said, "We already talked about this." So he's like, "This should be SIG architecture should take this over, not just
I see.
Edim." And also he said that he's going to sync up with you, because probably last time you talked to him about this, right?
I think I went to Cluster Lifecycle and I talked to them, and they're like, "Yeah, we should solve this, but we don't know what it's going to be yet." And then I guess part of it is going to be the stuff that Justin has.
So maybe we need to get like the Timothy St. Clair, Justin Santa Barbara, and us into a room,
and Jordan
and Jordan to discuss this.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
That's better way.
Okay, so let me note that down. Let's set up, because it seems like we sent out an email to SIG architecture, but
nobody answers, and the answers don't make sense.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
I did. I was like, this is not.
I don't understand what he's talking about. Self-hosting. I don't know what is self-hosting. We're not trying to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Let's see. Tim, Jordan, Justin. Seems like a good start.
Okay. Shing, is this something you'll be able to set up?
I could try. I don't know if they would want to join.
Or maybe maybe we can reply to the email to SIG architecture. Just make sure these three guys are CC'd on it and see if they would be interested in a meeting to discuss this further.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. So maybe I will do that and see if they're interested.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for chugging along on this. Let's see, what other items do we have to talk about for 114? Who's here? Let's see, David's not here. Ben's not here. Sergey's not here. Let's see, snapshots. Do we have, so Shing, do we have a plan for snapshots for this quarter? What we want to do?
Oh, so we are working on execution hook. I think that's the main thing. So
Okay.
we are working on that. Yeah.
Have we synced up with the workloads team on the execution hook stuff?
Not yet. So
Okay.
Jean said
That might be,
yeah.
it might be good to sync up with them because I know they are also working on their own sort of pipeline or workflow with snapshots.
Oh, the workload team. Jean did talk to the workload team. It's not the.
Okay.
She said we also need to talk to the node team. So that's the one that
Okay.
haven't got to yet because we have already designed a hook that we can add to the container. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for snapshots this quarter, I think it's going to be pretty much on the back burner. It'll be a lower priority thing. We'll get end-to-end tests in. We'll get the webhook stuff in. We'll have some designs going in the background, but nothing big going out for this quarter. And then hopefully next quarter when the SIG has a little bit more breathing room bandwidth with all these migration things settling down, then we can refocus on it.
Yep, sounds good.
So this next item breakout, haven't done that because I think Jean says she's going to check with you and to see if this looks a little weird to have a CRD out by its own because usually CRDs and controllers are together. So I haven't done this. I haven't moved it out yet.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think the weird thing is that we have a dependency, multiple repos that depend on it, which makes it tricky. If a controller is completely contained, it makes perfect sense to have it in one place. But when you have multiple repos that depend on the same CRD, it gets weird because of just that. So it's worth considering. It's not a huge deal, but it makes life a little bit easier.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's see. So there was also a lot of refactoring and cleanup work that was going on that I think, Vlad, you were helping review. Do we have plans to pick this up again for 114?
Yeah, right before the break, I had pinged the folks from Pivotal who started that, and they were interested in continuing this quarter, so that work should be continuing. I haven't checked with them lately, but they're interested in continuing.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Let's see. And then revamping our CI process. Patrick, I see, has been working on this. I think he's starting first with trying to have consistent build rules and also fix the issue where fix the way that we push images to Quay. So that's good. I think the new repository is open, so I think he just needs to open some new PRs against it. Last few items. Splitting up drivers, I guess we don't have anyone signed up for this. We'll probably need to sit down and do a bug scrub in all the sidecars. I think there's a lot of issues and bugs that just keep on creeping up and no one's looking at them. And then tests. So I think there were four main test items that I'm tracking. One is adding our cluster driver registrar to E2e tests. Currently, our alpha tests that test the CSI driver features are just creating the CRD or the CR objects manually instead of going through cluster driver registrar. I think it would be good to test the sidecar with it so we get the whole end-to-end flow. I guess no one signed up for this, but yeah, it's a lower priority item. Same thing with the liveness probe. We don't have any end-to-end tests using it. Let's let's see. This was a leftover item from one of the bugs from last release. There was a bug where we were basically flooding events and retrying too frequently. And it was causing flaky tests. We removed the event checking from the test to make them less flaky, but that also means that we kind of lose signal for these kinds of issues. So I think I added an item here to see if we can figure out if there's like metrics or something we could use to detect that there's a regression in this area. And then the last item is the E2e test for snapshots.
My coworker said he's going to update this one by the end of this week. I just checked; it's not updated yet. I assume he's going to work on it over the weekend. I'll check with him on Monday.
Great, sounds good. And I think we ended up discussing this one earlier. I think Patrick closed it. We decided not to go forward with this. Yeah. So I think this is no longer necessary. All right. And the last item I want to track for this quarter is a potential refactoring of the external provisioner. There are a lot of bugs open around the area where it's doing retries and handling timeouts of provision calls. I think there's a lot of bugs in the same area, and I think it might be worth trying to consider if we need to redesign this part. I think right now we don't have an owner for this, but if someone is interested in tackling this, please let me know. Okay, so that's everything for 113, 114. Is there anything else someone wants to bring up? All right, so I guess with that, we will see you on Monday then. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.